Paul George signed with the Sixers, but the poll question is, does Paul George make the 76ers final favorites? By the way, they just signed. I want to know
Maxey.
where they have. I want to know where they got $416 million from, like overnight, to do this. They up the salary cap in the NBA, of course, like everyone else does, and then everyone's up in the salary caps. It's crazy, but so they, of course, I know it's not just $400 million up front. I know how the salary cap works a little bit, but be honest though, like that is so they invested in Tyrese Maxey, which they should have. And he was clearly the uprising star. That's why they were so easy to let James Harden go.
Yep.
$416 million on two dudes.
Not even counting your best player, Joel Embiid.
So you got a big three now that rivals. I would say anybody.
I would say.
But Paul George, I believe, is the leading scorer in playoff history without ever being to a finals.
Makes sense. I mean, he goes to playoffs damn near every year. I feel like for most teams that he's been on, whether it's OKC, the Pacers, the Clippers, obviously, but yeah, has never reached the NBA Finals. And listen, on paper, because that's all we got right now, this should be one of the top teams in the league, and definitely should be one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. 100%. The number one concern that everybody and their mama's going to initially say is, can they stay healthy? If they stay healthy. That's what we're going to keep hearing all offseason long, because we got two guys out of this new big three that, for whatever reason, they often get hurt. Paul George and Joel Embiid. So in order for this thing to work, they both will have to stay healthy. Now, again, if they miss a couple games off the regular season for like some small sprains and little stuff like that, cool. But no serious injuries when it matters the most. When the playoff time starts, they need to both be on the court. And if they are, I would expect them to be, at least in the Eastern Conference Finals contention. Now, I never like to just go out there on the limb and say NBA Finals for sure, because listen, there's so many things that happen in the NBA season. The free agency isn't even over yet. We don't know what other teams are going to do. You got Boston there who's still loaded, and they bringing back a lot of the same, players on the team, on the championship team who they just won with. So I don't know, but on the paper, this team looks great. But again, you just listen to the stat. You said Paul George has like the highest scorer or most points scored without actually making the NBA Finals. And it's like, man, I don't believe in like any jinx or bad luck or stuff like that. But he's been a hell of a player for a long time. But it's been so often where we thought, oh man, Paul George just joined, they're the favorites. Or Paul George just joined this team, and they just never, it never happens. We thought the Clippers were going to go to NBA Finals for sure. At least one time in the last, 4 seasons, never made it. So I just think right now, man, it's hard to fully trust it. But on paper, right now, it looks good.
Yeah. On paper, that's why I don't like it. Because on paper, everything looks good. But these guys, I know the truth of the matter. These guys are hurt all the time. This guy's never been to a final. He doesn't have winning pedigree. I would only be paying winning pedigree. I wouldn't pay no money to these cats that haven't proved to me that they're winners. Like this, it is what it is.
But real quick, like when you say prove that you're a winner, I mean, it's again, everybody in the league. So basically, you're saying you got to win a championship before I pay you. Basically, is what you're saying.
There's a lot of things with this one. He's an older guy on the other side of his career. He's on the descending side. Let's just be honest. For a descending player to get $212 million to me just proves my point I've been talking about as far as his player empowerment goes. And in the market, that's what the market is, right? Whatever. But this guy is a guy that hasn't been to a finals ever. He's proven one thing we can say about his career, Smitty. His career has proven that either A, he misses critical games and critical junctures of the season. B, he's yet to carry a team to a finals. C, he's hurt in critical times during critical games. And D, he's Palm Del P. Out here in Cali on the West Coast, dog, he's Palmdale P. We don't fuck with Palmdale. We don't fuck with Palmdale. He's Palmdale P. And let me be honest with you. Let's be honest. Him and Kawhi Leonard grew up together, played all together. Him and Harden and Westbrook. By the way, 4 cats from 20 miles from each other. Grew up Compton, Gardena, Palmdale, came out to Compton. Harden grew up in Compton, went to my high school, Artesia. Listen, why would you break that up unless you know that Kawhi, homie, I'm sorry, but you're not available in playoff games, dog, and I'm not available sometimes. We gotta split this up. Yep. There's no way that Paul George didn't come to that agreement and say I gotta roll. I just can't risk it all here. We tried it. I gotta bounce back to the East Coast where I started my career in Indianapolis. I'm gonna go back to the Eastern Conference and maybe have a shot and just deal with one team in Boston versus 12 in the West.
I think so. It's less resistance, number one. Number two, I just think, I mean, you named a lot of great players, right? And obviously Westbrook's not in his prime anymore. Harden's not in his prime anymore. But Kawhi's not in his prime anymore because of health. But like that group of guys, to me, it meshed okay. It wasn't a great mesh though. To me, this combination of him, Joel Embiid, and Maxey actually makes sense from a playing style standpoint. And then on your list of reasons why you wouldn't pay Paul George, one of those was that he's never like really led a team far in the playoffs or won. The good thing about this team is he won't have to lead at all. He's the number 3. He's the clear-cut number 3. So to me, Paul George is a hell of a number 3. He's a hell of a number 3. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be leaning heavily on Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid to lead the way. And Paul George got to be there probably to average 17 points a game and just be that consistent third guy on the team. You know, you think about some of the legendary big threes of the last, I don't know, decade or two. You know, I think about the Heat with Bosh, Wade, and LeBron. For this team, Paul George has to be Bosh, or he has to be the Kevin Love. I think Paul George is more than talented enough to be that guy on this team. As much criticism as we give Paul George as he's earned, and we should, he's done a lot. I mean, he led that Pacers team to a deep playoff runs and Eastern Conference Finals. They just ran into better Heat teams. You know what I'm saying? And I just think as of late, like you said, with the Clippers, they look so good on paper, but there's always been somebody hurt. That's important. Kawhi Leonard was their best player. He was supposed to be their leader, and he was hurt. So like we just never really saw what this Clippers team could be. So here with Philly, like I said, it looks good. It looks great on paper. It looks amazing on paper, in my opinion. But it has to all come together. You know what I'm saying? I think Paul George is a better Tobias Harris for them, and I'm not even sure. Is Tobias still signed with them? I don't even know. I haven't even heard from Tobias. But
I don't know.
He was getting paid a lot of money too. But to me, he's like a upgrade from the number 3 because Tobias was hit or miss. Yeah. You didn't know what you was going to get with him night to night.
I don't like the signing, actually. I think it's if you have to pay a third, my number 3 gets $200 million, there's a problem. Like there's no way. And I don't know how to structure an NBA a roster. I wouldn't even try to imagine how to do
Bro,
one.
they all get paid. NBA money different. They money different though.
I get it. All I'm saying is like a 30, how old is he now? 36, 5? Like that's crazy to me. A number 3 getting that money. Like I could see Jaylen Brown and Tatum, and you've given both of them guys $300 million, right? You talking about $300 million each or whatever plus. 34-year-old in the NBA is like a 42-year-old in the NFL. Like it's like $200 million to my third guy.
Not anymore though, JB. The NBA, I mean, the style is different. These players are playing longer because it's a softer style of play because of rules, regulations, and just how the system works. A lot of jump shooting and 3-point shots, and not a lot of guys getting to the rim. Like I can see Paul playing to 39-40 low key and being okay.
Because he don't play. That's the thing. That's the problem. He don't play that much. Like that's the problem. He played 74 games. I want to say last year.
He played a lot last year. Paul George, he misses, but he doesn't miss like on a Kawhi level. I think we meshed them together just because they played together. So we just say, oh, Paul George, Kawhi. Paul don't miss like that. Paul plays a lot. And the thing about Paul that I like, He plays hard every game, and he plays both sides of the ball. You know, you're gonna get a really good defender who's not scared to guard your best player, and any given night he can go out there and drop 30 as well. That's why I like Paul George on my team. I don't like him to be somebody who I have to depend on as my main guy, though. That's why I'm saying as a number 3. I'm like, shit. I don't know. That's a pretty good deal.
Latrell, you smoking crack. Latrell, you sound crazy as hell if you think he's better than Tyrese
Maxey. A bad boy.
Maxey's clearly the number 2, and Tyrese Maxey's clearly the number 1 when Embiid went down, and he carried that team to a 7-game series versus the Knicks, who they should have beat. It's not even close, by the way. And number 2, I gotta be honest, younger. Number 1, younger, and he got less money.
I'm about to say, listen, it is close though.
I was trying to think about the money, and I was like, well, he's younger, and I'm looking at the deal. He got a 1 more year, longer deal, and less money, and I'm sitting there like, hell no, I would have flipped that. That role would have been flipped for me, for him and PG. There's just no way. And the thing that fell through with the Clippers apparently last night in LA was the 4 years. And I agree 100% with the Clippers, even though they're the JV team and I don't like the Clippers. But damn, you can't sign this dude till he's 38 and give him a max deal in LA when him and Kawhi don't play together. Like, they don't even play in the playoffs. Like, I don't know. Here's the bottom line, Smitty. We'll move on. If Embiid goes down, it doesn't matter. You guys wasted $400 million.
100%.
That's all it matters. That's why I said I don't know how I would structure an NBA roster, because if Embiid goes down, it don't make shit difference on who's out there. These 2 guys aren't good enough or that type of player to lead me to a championship without Embiid. And that's just where it is. Embiid goes down, you wasted $400 million. Let's keep it funky. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real.
Hey, that's sports in general. That's sports in general.
I don't know if there's another team, though, that you can say that about. Maybe Joker. That's really it. Like, there's not another.
I think any team, if your star go down, it's a wrap. Giannis went down, the Bucks were done. Joker go down, they're done. At the end of the day, it's 5 guys on the court.
I'm talking about like not a whole season. I'm talking about you're hurt a couple games. You're down in the playoff game. Like, Luka went down in the playoff game. Kyrie came in. They won without him this year. So you can win a couple games.
Luka didn't miss no games, though, dude.
He missed a game. Remember, he missed a game early on. I think it was Minnesota or one of those games. He was down. Or Thunder. Might have been the Thunder. I think it was a Thunder. Remember, they should have lost or something.
I feel like Luka was supposed to miss and he ended up playing hobbled, but I don't know. I don't want to get into all semantics.
Let me talk. Maybe he didn't miss. I thought he did miss.
I'm pretty sure he didn't miss. He was hurt, but he didn't miss. If your stars miss games, in my opinion, I just think it's a wrap. I don't care who you are.
Maybe Luka didn't miss a game, but we know he was hobbled. And my point is, like, if guys miss games, who can come in and actually win a game while he's down maybe a game or 2? I don't know if there's another team.
PG and Maxey could win a game depending on who they're playing, a game or 2. But again, the goal is not win a game or 2 or to get past this series. The goal is for them, and the reason why they're paying him all this money right now is to win a championship, because they know the window with Joel Embiid will eventually close. So they're trying to maximize that thing, because he is. I mean, when he's healthy, he's probably top 3 in the league. Honestly, top 5 at least. So you got a top 5 player on your team. You got a young guy in Maxey who continues to get better and better every year. You put him with top 10, 12 guard. I mean, it's an argument, of course, but like he's a legit player. And then Paul George, a really good 2-way player who, even though he's getting older, he ain't really showed too much signs of decline. So